Hello, everyone. My name is Joey Brush with the Paris Special School District. I have had the opportunity to talk to several of you via phone calls, via emails, and I am kind of the guy behind the curtain, I guess you would say. But tonight we have a group of educators that are on with me that I'll get the opportunity to introduce in just a second. Um, but really, what we want to do tonight is to provide everybody with a bit of information about the virtual academy that we are offering, as well as our in-person, excuse me, our in-person uh, educational offerings. First off, I want to start off with some of your Teams control. If you are on a mobile phone, in the top right corner, you'll see a little box with a question mark. That is to ask questions. Click that, type your question in. Our educators will see it in the question box. We will answer those questions at the end of the meeting. You might have school specific questions. That way our school specific teachers can answer any questions you may have. If you do use a mobile phone and you hit the question box, make sure that you use the feature tab to go back to the presentation and hit the question box again if you have a question to ask. If you're watching from a computer, in the top right corner, you can see a place where it will open up a side window and you can ask your questions there. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and type those in. And like I say, we will get to those at the end of the presentation. I do want to let you know that the presentation is being recorded. It will take a little while to process, but as soon as it's recorded, we will get that posted on the school webpage. We will get it in all the appropriate places and let you know that it is available. So I want to start this evening by introducing some very important folks. We have a team of folks who have taken on this endeavor, and one of the things that we are going to ask parents throughout the year is for a lot of grace, because we are literally building this airplane as we're in the air. We are in a unique situation in our district and across our state and across our country. Quite frankly, there are lots of schools that are in the same predicament that we are, in the same situation, and they are in a sticky. They're doing the best they can with what they have too. We want to offer you a chance for your students to be educated with our staff. We feel like it's very important that your child have as close as an experience they can in school in a virtual manner. So with that, I have a really talented group of folks that I would like to introduce. First off, I would like to introduce Miss Sloan Hutchison. Sloan is going to be working with our kindergarten staff, so I'll let her introduce herself.
Hey everyone, like Mr. Brush said, I'm Sloan Hutchison. I'm a recent graduate of Murray State University, and I studied early childhood, and I'm really excited to get to meet everyone and work with them this year.
Next, we have Miss Miranda Miller, who will be working with our first grade students.
Hey everyone, I'm Miranda Miller, and I will be your child's first grade virtual teacher. This is my fifth year of teaching, and I am very excited to work with you and your children this year.
Next up, we have Miss Amanda White.
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda and I'm excited to be your child's teacher this year. This is my 9th year in the PSSD and also my 9th year teaching second grade. I know it's going to be a great year.
Miss Becky Kate is with us from Paris Elementary.
Hello everyone, I am Becky Kate and I have been in education for 26 years. I've been 20 years with the Paris Special School District, and the majority of my time was with teaching 5th grade. So I will be the virtual facilitator for grades 3 through 5, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful year.
And then finally, we have Mr. Justin Stutzman from Inman Middle School.
Thank you, Mr. Brush. My name is Justin Stutzman. I will be the school facilitator for grades 6 through 8 at Inman Middle School. I will also be working along with Miss Jeannie Oliver. She will be helping me as a school facilitator there. This will be my 4th year at Inman, and I'm really excited to be a part of building the virtual academy as well. Thank you.
I can't say enough about those folks that are with me. They have worked tirelessly to try to ensure that your children are in, that they are going to provide the best education that they can in these times. And again, and you're going to hear me say this many times throughout the presentation, we are going to need as much grace as we possibly can be offered as we go through this, because there's going to be trying times on parents' ends. There's going to be trying times on student ends. We're going to do the very best that we can. So one of the things that they mentioned is their schedule and their day. We're going to get to that a little bit later in the presentation. They'll give them an opportunity to kind of talk about what a school day will look like for students. The things that a student will do through the day. But first off, I wanted to take just a minute here to kind of talk about this whole idea behind this virtual academy, and really what we are trying to do. As I've shared, and some of you all have poured your hearts out to me, and I've listened on the phone, and I've listened to what you have. The heartache that you have with your family and the gut-wrenching decision, and I totally understand and know how difficult of a decision it's had to be for a lot of you, but know that we do love this district. Know that we are doing everything we can to make sure that your children are safe in our schools that do come to our schools. Our principals have worked hours outlining schedules, outlining maps and floor plans and movement patterns and all of those things for children that are in school. But we do understand that there are some outside circumstances that would cause you to be cautious about sending your children into school, and we get that. But in order to attend this academy, one of the things that we want you to make sure that you understand is that we do have a contract that parents will have to sign. And I want to kind of go through some of the student expectations, and I'm not going to read this all to you step by step. But number 2 is important: to participate each school day as if you were coming to school. And understand that you have a responsibility as students through your parents to make sure that you're asking the teachers questions, that you are checking in at the appropriate times, that you are doing the things that you need to do as students to be as active in school as you possibly can. Attendance is going to count. We will have daily check-ins and we will take attendance daily. So it's very important that that your children are logged in every day at the appropriate time. It's important that they check in with their teachers at the appropriate time. That there's the attendance will count, and that as far as some of the plans that the district has had to write, we have to improve. We have to show that we are keeping attendance and that children are attending regularly. For the parents, we have some expectations for you as well. We're going to look in just a second as like what a coach would be. The first week or so, we're going to need you as parents to make sure that your students are clicking on the right button, especially if you're a K2. After the first week, the middle school kids after day 1, day 2, they're probably going to be fine. But we've got to make sure that, especially for K1, K2, that there is someone there that they can read a book to, that they can work some math problems with, that they can kind of the learning coach is what we're calling that person, is there to provide support. They're there to motivate children when they're not feeling all that great. You know, the learning coach is also responsible for letting the teacher know that hey, I've got a dentist appointment. They won't be able to check back in with you this afternoon, but I wanted to just let you know. So we do have some responsibilities there for the parent and for the student, and I wanted to make you aware of these these agreements that you are agreeing to through this virtual academy. Now, don't worry about trying to screenshot all these. Don't worry about trying to snag all these forms. We will have these ready to go on the pickup, which I will talk about in just a bit. As far as the district's role, you know, we are going to provide the best equipment that we have. We are going to provide teachers to be available. If your child has an IEP or special needs or something like that, we're going to do our special education team and those that help on 504s. Those teams of folks have been working tirelessly to make sure that this transition is not stressful. But one thing that we do want you to understand is this material expectation. You know, we will require a code of conduct and acceptable use policy. Again, we will have those forms on the website. And then if there are any consumable or any materials we need those returned to school when you come back to school. That way they can be counted for and making sure that our inventories are correct. Okay, our student laptop policy, I want to just very briefly talk about that. We will, again, we will have this available for you at the sign in and pick up location at each school. But just to highlight a couple of things, especially this letter C, there's no expectation of privacy. You know, if you are using a school machine, those machines will be filtered. Those will have the same internet filter as what children have at school. Again, if they transfer from the school or if they come back, they need to check that back in. Care is very, very important. There's some things that laptops, you know, accidents do happen, and we do understand that, but there are lots of things with the laptop that are preventable, and we want to make sure that you all are doing everything at home that you can to make sure that our laptops remain in good condition. If there's any problem with the laptop, we'll have this email address for you at the end of the presentation, but you can call me or Miss Charlotte Robertson. We will help you if there's any problems with the computer. But you have to understand that you assume some risk. If we loan you a school laptop and it comes back damaged, you know that you do assume some risk in that there will be a meeting with PSSD administration and things like that. Just some general things, you know, the property of the laptop is of the school. You know, there's some disciplinary action that can be that can occur if misuse has occurred. Just some general things that we have to be very, very careful of is it's easy for parents maybe to let go of a student's username and password. We have to be very, very careful that we don't share that with a lot of folks, because a student's username and password is personal identifiable information, and it can be a little bit of an issue if that gets out. But these are just, again, general things that we are going to be asking you to sign off on. You know, and we will, again, these forms are available on the school website. And then we'll just ask you to sign that, and we will keep a record of that. Okay, I want to talk just a second about ClassLink. For any kindergarten parent that may be with us, this may be new to you, but for the parents of students in grades 1 through 8, ClassLink is something that's very, very important to us in the district. ClassLink is almost like your child's key to opening up several programs. Now, the way this works, if your child is at Ray, you will receive a card that looks what's on the screen. It just has a QR code, and they will hold that code up in front of a camera. That camera will catch that code, and it will open up ClassLink. And within ClassLink, there will be several options like Moby Max, like Office 365. That's going to be the probably the most important that you will use, and various products that we have and we use throughout the district. If you do not have a camera, but you do have a child at Ray Elementary, that's okay. You can still log in. And some of the instructional software that you will find, now this does not apply to every student. This just apply, a district-wide, these are some of the main things that we use. I'm sorry, the Microsoft Teams platform, that's going to be really important. Moby Max, we use that for skills. Some grade levels use IXL for their skills, and then you see the others that are there, but those will be located inside of ClassLink. Okay, I want to take a minute just to let Ms. Hutchinson back in, and Ms. Miranda and Ms. Amanda to kind of explain what a student's day would look like. I have their schedules, and I'll let them walk through what that would look like in a day. All right, Ms. Sloan.
So we'll start our day with a morning meeting. This is where if we were in person, we would do our morning work. And then this time I'll give everyone a grace period to log on. We'll get in and just get ready to start the day. Then we'll do our CKLA, which is our language arts, and then take a break because an hour is a long time to sit in front of a computer screen. Then we'll start wit and wisdom, which is reading and our other lessons. Then we'll take another break because I understand they're 5 and 6 years old. And then we'll do math, and specials will be videos for them. So morning meeting, CKLA, wit and wisdom, and math will more than likely be live. I'll be videoing with the whole class. And then we'll do one more check-in after specials and then go to lunch. After lunch, I'll be available to meet one-on-one with students. And that's what that final check-in is for them to say, hey, I want to meet with you. I need help with this, and just get an idea of who I need to talk to that day.
Thank you. Let me see if I can get Miss Miranda on. Okay, Miss Miranda, let me pull your schedule up for everyone. There you go. Sorry.
Hey everyone, just looking at our first grade schedule, each morning I would like for everyone to check in between 7:45 and 8 o'clock. During that time, we will check in and do some morning work, just getting ready for the day, warming up. Around 8 to 8:15, we will start our reading, writing, and our grammar activities. This will not be an hour and a half the first week. It may even take us a few weeks to build back up to this type of stamina in the classroom setting. So we will ease right back into that. And then at 9:30, we will have special area. Those will be recorded. I will provide those for the students to be able to watch. Come back from special area and we will have our spelling for an hour. That's give and take. It may not take us an hour each day. I may have them do some independent work at that time and then come back at 11:30 and do small groups. Your child may not meet with me every day as a small group, just depending on what their needs are. So I may have them do more independent work at that time. They will get a 30-minute lunch break. We'll come back, have an hour of math. I will do most of the child's teaching through live videos, but with math, I am going to record some because I will want a few days of the week so they can have small groups and we can do some one-on-one if we need to do that during that time. So math may be more flexible and not always live. It may be some recordings. Then they'll have recess, and then we'll come back from 2 to 2:20, 2 to 2:30 and have check-ins. Just please know that the first week or two, we're going to ease back in. So we're not going to drill this schedule super hard because their stamina is going to have to build up after being out since March. But I hope this works for you.
Miss Miranda, one of the questions while you're here, one of the questions that came along the chat, or the question is, are they required to stay at the computer the entire time? And I hope that answered your question, is that no, we don't have to stay on there the entire time, but we as a district have to provide a 7-hour school day.
Yes.
And as Miss Miranda said, there might be multiple check-ins throughout the day.
Yeah, and there's going to be check-ins, and I do not expect your student to sit there for an hour and a half or an hour. I may do some teaching for, say, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and I may say, okay, let's release, you go do some work, and we'll check back in. That doesn't also mean that they're going to sit for that whole hour. I'm going to do brain breaks, and we're going to have lots of different things to help break up their day, but not interrupt their learning at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Let me see if I can get Miss White. Okay, Miss White, let me get your schedule. Okay, sorry.
You're good. So our schedule is very similar to what Miss Miranda was just saying for first grade. I would expect you to check in. We'll kind of do announcements for the day, an overview of what our day is going to look like, have a morning meeting. I really like to build relationships. That's really important to me. So a morning meeting is going to be super important for kids to be able to see other kids through our screen. And that was actually one of the questions in the chat, is would they be able to see their whole class or their teacher? So it just depends on the activity that we're going to be doing, whether or not they're going to be able to see the entire class or just me. So I hope that that question is answered. So after that, we would have our number talk math lesson for the day till 9 o'clock, and then they would have a snack time, break time, just as if they were actually sitting in my classroom. What I've done is worked with my second grade team to decide what their typical school day is going to look like, and then mimicked it to look for what virtual school will look like. After that, we're going to have our ELA block for an hour and a half, and just like Miss Miranda was saying, it's not going to be sit in front of a computer for an hour and a half and listen to me talk. It's going to be interactive. There's going to be one-on-one things that they might need you as their learning coach to do. So after that, we'll have a pretty good chunk of time from 10:50 to 11 for a break, plus our special area. Just like Miss Miranda was saying, our special area is going to be a pre-recorded video from PE, STEAM, music, and library as well. Then we'll have a lunch period till 12:30, and after lunch, then they'll have recess. That's just getting up, moving. Some days I'll provide a Go Noodle. So they've got a pretty good chunk of time right there. Then we'll come back for the afternoon for a check-in for our CKLA phonics block and wrap up our day between 2 and 2:15 to see if there's any questions or concerns or anything that I need to address. So it's going to be great.
Thank you, Miss Amanda. Next, let me see if Miss Kate, if I can get her. Sorry, I'm having a technical difficulty here. Ms. Kate, I apologize. I can't get your here we go.
Got it?
Go ahead and talk through it, Ms. Kate. I can't get your video pulled up. I apologize.
Okay, that's fine. We can just talk through the schedule. So hello, everyone. So each Paris Elementary is going to look different from Ray Elementary because I am considered the virtual facilitator. I'm not actually your child's teacher. So your child will actually be assigned to a grade level homeroom. They will also have teachers who will do videos that might not be your child's homeroom teacher. So it's going to look a little bit different. So each day, students will check in between 7:45 and 8 o'clock, and we'll explain how they check into the team's event every morning. They will check in. They must have the camera on. I did see someone ask the question, do they need to check in with a camera? Yes, we want to see every child's face in the morning. And we'll have like a morning meeting, kind of get, good morning, how's everything going this morning? And then, as you will see on the schedule, at 8 o'clock, I'm going to meet with 3rd grade students, while 4th and 5th grade students have to be a little bit independent. And that's why it's important to have that person there that can help them to make sure that they are kind of on track and focused for the morning, getting their work started. And then I pop into our 4th grade team, and I will work with our 4th grade students for about 30 minutes, just checking in with them, making sure they have everything they need for their assignments. They will be watching video instruction from their teachers. So they will have some recorded video instruction. 3rd grade has 2 different teachers who will be doing that instruction. 4th grade has 2 teachers and 5th grade has 2 teachers. So I will teach the students how to find the videos and how to submit assignments and all of that. So they will be watching videos, unlike at Ray School where they're getting more live instruction. These students will watch videos of instruction and pertain to what they're learning and will be given assignments to do. And much of that will be independent. And so we're expecting the 3rd, 4th, and 5th to work a little bit more independently than the Ray students. Then you will see at 9 o'clock, I will meet with a 5th grade group, the virtual 5th grade group, while 3rd and 4th are working on their assignments or finishing up on work or watching videos. Then between 9:30 and 10, those students who receive services from Miss Olivia, Miss Christie, your students will have services provided during this time. This also might be a time for your child either to finish assignments, or if I feel like I need to work with a small group, I can work with a small group from 9:30 to 10. Then from 10 to 11, your child will have some independent work on science and social studies. So there might not be video lessons as much for science and social studies. They might be given some brain pop to watch, something to read, something to interact with. And so they will be having some independent work. We will do STEM on Wednesdays where I will present a STEM lesson. And so they will have that. Then 11 to 11:30 is recess time, which they will be given some kind of structured activity that they can choose to do. Lunch after that. Then after lunch, we all check back in. This is when I need to check back in with all students, and I will take an afternoon attendance. And then I'll check back in with each group in the afternoon for about 20 minutes, as you can see on the schedule. Then every day, your child will still have a special area class. So special area teachers will be recording some of their lessons or sending links for your child to look at, or something for them to do as an activity that pertains to either art, library, music, guidance, PE. Your child will be participating in those special area activities as well. And at the end of the day, from 2 to 2:30, your child can finish up work. Now you can see that there's going to be some downtime where your child is going to be expected to be independent or maybe take a break. So your child will not be sitting in front of a computer all day long. Some of their activities or assignments may require them to get up away from the computer and work on designing something or creating something or building something, depending on what it is. So they're not going to be sitting in front of a computer all day long. And I did see someone else ask the question about flexibility within the day. We know that some of you are working parents, And we do know that sometimes it's better if you are there to help them in the evening with some work. That would be acceptable. So, for example, if your child didn't get to watch the ELA video during the school day time and you wanted to watch that video with them that evening and help them through their work, that is perfectly acceptable if they are completing their assignments on time. So we are trying to be flexible in that. We want your child to be present in the learning, but we know that there are going to be times within your schedules that you want to provide support for them in the evenings. So hopefully that clarifies that, and I look forward to a wonderful year with your students.
Okay, thank you, Miss Kate. We're going to let Mr. Stutzman jump in here and kind of go through his schedule as well.
All right,
Mr.
thank you, Mr.
Stutzman.
Brush. Yes, at Inman Middle School, as Miss Kate just mentioned and referenced, we're going to do things a little bit different just because each grade level's day will look a little different. However, the check-in will be the same. As you can see on the screen for 6th grade, their check-in is actually going to be from 7:40 to 8 o'clock with Miss Oliver. And from there, 6th grade would go through their classes. Now, as the facilitator, my role in this is to help our teachers manage the day-to-day operations for grades 6th, 7th, and 8th. So as you can see on 6th grade schedule, I will periodically throughout the day be checking in and checking for understandings and trying to make myself available to help your child until their teacher is available for them. And each grade will be different on that, but that will be discussed with your child, and they will know exactly when their classroom teacher will be available as well. So what you will see me and Miss Oliver doing is throughout the day, just providing them support and helping them any way we can. For 6th grade, for instance, 8 to 9, ELA class, 9 to 9:30 is RTI, 9:30 to 10:35 social studies, then a lunch, math, science, special area from 1:10 to 2:10, and then from 2:10 to 2:40, I would be available for 30 minutes to help those students with any questions. Mr. Brush, could you move on to the 7th grade? And see, with 7th grade, the check-in will be with me, 7th and 8th grade, from 7:40 to 8 o'clock. For 7th grade, they'll have ELA from 8 to 9, special area from 9 to 10, and then math from 10 to 11. So for 7th grade, I will be checking for understandings with them from 11 to 11:30. During this time, again, I will be answering questions. I will be getting them any resources that they may need, anything that me or Miss Oliver will be able to do to help your child. We're going to do so. Then they will eat lunch from 12 to 12:30. Again, social studies for an hour, RTI for 30 minutes. Then they'll have science from 2 to 3. Their teachers will also be available to them as well. So there's going to be plenty of opportunities for them to get support throughout the day. Can we move on to 8th grade? Thank you, sir. 8th grade, again, same attendance check-in time as 7th. From 8 to 9, 8th grade will have special areas, STEM and gym. From 9 to 10, they'll have math class. 8th grade will have their check for understanding with me from 10 to 10:30. After that, they'll go into ELA class and RTI, lunch, science, and social studies. Now, on the bottom of the screen, I just want to mention this on the Inman schedule. The open office hours for student and parent communication, that's what I was referring to. Once the school year starts, your teacher, your child's teacher, will provide them the exact times that they're going to be available for your students along with me. All that will be definitely clear when we get started. So no worries there. And that's it on my end, Mr. Brush. I look forward to a good year.
Thank you, Mr. Stutzman. One of the we have Mr. Hudgens who chimed in that I did want to remind everybody that there will be guidance times for K2 students, and I'm sure that there will be guidance times for really 3 through 8 students as well. I know at the middle school, Miss Amy Vance has been working on an application on a computer where she can do some daily wellness checks and things like that. So that just gives you some idea about the schedule and what a day could look like. Now, please understand, we don't expect everybody to be in front of a computer for 7 hours or for 4.5 if you're a kindergarten student or anything like that. But also understand that the schedule could change. You know, once we get into a week into this, we may have to back up and redo a little bit. And again, this is where we're asking for as much grace as we possibly can for this. I want to look at what the typical first week of school could look like at all 3 buildings. You know, once we get you on the platform for the first day, then all your teachers will kind of go through the controls, you know, how students participate in a chat, how they ask questions, how they mute their microphone, how they turn on their video camera, all of those things. Your virtual teachers will work through them. And then probably week 2, we really start getting into some activities as far as, you know, ELA and math and science and social studies for the grades 3 through 5. I want to take just a minute to talk about materials pickup. We have set aside next Tuesday from 1 to 3 for materials to be picked up at each building. We will use the car rider line. Here's just a notification of how that will look. Computers. There's several questions in the Q&A about computers. If you are a middle school student, you would have a computer anyway. We will issue your school computer if you need one. You're perfectly fine using your own equipment. 3 kindergarten through 5th, we have some additional machines that we will loan out for you as well. At that pickup time, we will record, you know, the serial number of the computer you're receiving. We will talk about, if you need any other materials, we'll get you those. We'll sign those agreements, but we will have a materials pickup on Tuesday, August 11th, and we will get this on web pages and social media sites as a reminder of that material pickup. And that will include, you know, like a math book or any textbooks that a student would possibly need, as well as logins and quick cards and all of those materials. I will give you some numbers at the end of the presentation for people for you to reach out to if there's a snag or a hang up. Okay, in the last little session here, I want to talk about Microsoft Teams, because this is the platform that we will use to check in every single day. During our materials pickup, we will have a step-by-step for you to get your students into the Teams platform. We've got some screen clips coming up in the next few slides to kind of guide you through that. It looks a little bit overwhelming, but it's really not, I promise. In Microsoft Teams is really, it's that virtual classroom. You know, teachers can send assignments out. They can record their videos and share those. There'll be a way for children to even video themselves and send in a homework assignment if that's if a teacher needs that. But Microsoft Teams is this platform that we are using. And we've already talked about it a little bit, but it will be accessed through ClassLink, or if you are in a location where you can't get on ClassLink, you can always type in office.com into any web browser and sign in that way. Now, for a K2 parent, you're going to need the student's username and password, which we will get to you on that materials pickup day. So once you log into Office 365, there's going to be a tile that says Microsoft Teams. You just click on that tile, and then your child will be in possibly potentially multiple teams. But for kindergarten, they should only be in one team. And it would open up, and on the left-hand side of that, they would click on the general channel, or there's some places for chat functionality and things like that, which again, if we can get them on the first day, Miss Sloan will go through all of those steps for kindergartners, and Miss Miranda and Miss Amanda will get them on for first and second, and Miss Kate and Mr. Stutzman for the rest of the crew. You know, it's after the first day, I think your guys will be able to go through it pretty quick. Here's what a first grader screen would look like. They just want to click on the first grade virtual class on day one, and then on the second on the second grade, they would just do it there as well. So these are just some screenshots, and again, these will be available to you as parents in a packet of information through how to get on Teams. Teams is available on mobile devices. I think to join this meeting, several of you had to download Teams. You know, once you download Teams, your student may have to sign in with their credentials. This is what it would look like on a mobile device. But this slide is just there to kind of talk about some things that how to navigate through Teams, how to use the chat functionality, how to know if you've got assignments and things like that. Again, your teachers will walk through all of these with your students, so you don't have to worry about trying to go through this. But the morning check-in, it can be accessed two ways. When your child logs into a team, they will have what's called a general channel, and you can kind of see that in the center of your page, and they can click on a blue banner in the general channel to open up their meeting. Or on the left hand side, you can see that there are multiple tiles. One of those tiles is a calendar. They would just click on the calendar and then click on the event that's outlined. So there's multiple ways to get into a morning meeting. You know, it's just important that you have your children there ready to check in at the appointed time. Schedules will be passed out. This format will be passed out. If you still have trouble, you know, here's who you would need to email. If you email helpdesk@PSSD.org, we have a number of folks that can help respond to that. I have when you receive this packet of information and even this slide deck, we will post this slide deck on the school website. You can scan that to see a video of how to use Teams, and we will share that link as well. And then finally, contact information. Again, you can take a screenshot if you need to. Many of you have my number already. Miss Charlotte Robinson and myself will handle a lot of the distribution. You know, if there's something happens to a machine, we will handle a lot of those. But you have your teacher's information there and their email address. Again, during pickup times, this contact information will be available for you as well.
Mr. Brush?
Yes.
I did notice there was a small typo on Miss Charlotte's extension number. Previously, it had her old extension number at Inman, but this 2206 is her current. So I didn't want anyone to get confused about that if they need to contact Miss Charlotte.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Miller. I will correct that on a previous form. Good catch. Okay, I want to take just a minute to go through the questions that have been, some of you, I know, are moderators. have kind of gone through some of the questions. One question we had early: will the students be supplied laptops? Yes, we are planning on supplying student laptops as long, you should have received a call from your child's teacher that ask if you are going virtual, and if you have replied yes, I have that information. In a traditional setting, if a child is checked out of school after 1:30 p.m., is that considered a full day attendant? Yes, because technically your child may check out at 1:30, but they may be doing their lessons maybe at 3:30 to 4 or something like that. If you happen to have a dentist meeting or a dentist appointment, and your child has to miss their math lesson, they may go to the dentist and make up that math lesson at a later time. Inman, we provide laptops, and I know Miss Kate has answered that one. If we want to use our own computer, that's a very good question. If you want to use your own computer, really the only software you need is internet connectivity. You will need to download the ClassLink extension. Again, on school web pages, those instructions are there for you. But basically, once you get ClassLink, that's the key to getting through all of your students' potential programs and things like that. First grade, are they required to stay at the computer the entire time? I think we answered that one, but just to reiterate, no, they will not have to be there the entire time. And I know we addressed the question about the whole class. Sometimes there will be times where they will see the whole class, but sometimes there will be some one-on-one time just for teachers as well, potentially in the schedule. Yes, various check-ins. So the question is, so our children are expected to be online the entire time? No, there will be times away from the screen, and depending on what grade it is, because it's going to be different at each grade. They may have to watch a video, stop, get off the Teams platform, and then do whatever assignment and check in a little bit later. A question from a kindergarten parent. If you have someone there, yes, just the thing about kindergarten, first and second, is someone there to kind of help them with the clicks on the computer, or it may be that we need someone to read to that child or something like that. If it's an older brother, that's fine. If it's a grandmother or something, or grandfather, or just anyone that can help be a resource if a child needs to read a sentence, or if a child needs to demonstrate a math skill, or something like that. Another question about laptops. I think we've got that one covered. If you have not signed up for virtual to this point, and this is something that interests you, you can call me at 642-9322, extension number 3. We can get that. By Friday is really Friday afternoons, the deadline for that, because we've got to start getting things ready to go by Monday. Students with IEPs, that's a good question. Yes, I think Ms. Wagner and her SPED folks are working, her team of teachers is working on a way to check in with those who have IEP hours that need to be met. So yes, students with IEPs will get to meet with a teacher. Okay, here's a good question that I don't know that I've addressed, but I do want to make sure that I do address. The question is, can you start in school and go to the virtual option? Yes. We are going to be as flexible as we possibly can with parents. We understand that there are some conditions that you really need your kid at school or your student at school because you have to work, but once they get in school and you go, I'm not comfortable with this, yes, you can go the virtual route. And on the other hand, after sitting through this and seeing the requirements and the understanding that there's going to be somewhat of a commitment, and you go, I'm not real sure about this virtual thing, and you want to send them to school, that's fine as well. Well, where we as a district are going to kind of draw the line is if, you decide one week, hey, I want to go virtual, one week I want to go to school. We're going to make you commit, because we understand that, a child may get sick with strep throat and have to miss school for a week or 2 weeks, or maybe the chicken pox, or some type of thing other than the current virus situation, where they don't have to miss 2 weeks of school. They can still be part of they can still be with their class. And this question from a parent kind of is along the same line. If my child starts as in person, what happens for 5th grade if all schools go virtual due to high COVID cases? Will their in-person homeroom teacher do their virtual teaching? Yes, I think that is the plan at grades 3-5. This meeting tonight is really for you all who have said that you want to start in this manner. If we get into a situation where every student is virtual, then we will have a different set of plans that I don't want to really discuss tonight, because it's a whole different situation. Students in band, that's a very good question. I know Miss Presson has been working through some things, and I know she'll have some opportunity to meet with individuals again through the teams live. I know that she has been talking with Mr. Scarborough about how that looks. I'm not for sure how exactly that looks right now. But I think there is plans on how to do some band and strings and things like that. PE and swim. I don't know if this is referring to going back on August 17th. Right now, the question is, I'm sorry, how are we going to do PE and swim? Right now, the plan is that we will not do swim at the moment, that the PE teachers will come to the classroom, get the students and carry them to the gym, and there will be a curtain in the gymnasium to split between the classes. That way classes aren't intermingling. Ms. Kate,
Mr. Brush, if I might interrupt there, yes, I want them to know that on those PE special area days when they are virtual, they will be given video instruction from Ms. Luffman or Coach Kate in regards to activities for them to do. So they will be giving some things that they can do from home during that time. And also I want to go back to that question about the 5th grade student. I saw that parent also asked about if your child moves from virtual back to the homeroom, how are they going to be on track with the other students? Well, the answer to that is that every teacher is following the exact same pacing guide so that all students stay together. So whether they are virtual or whether they are in person, they are all receiving the same instruction. And while I'm speaking on that, someone asked about the instruction for grades 3-5. It says, I noticed there's not a whole lot of instruction for grades 3-5. Well, that is because the instruction is provided in video format from teachers in 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade. They are going to be recording their lessons they are doing in person so that your child can watch them the following day. They will be getting the exact same instruction that those students are getting in the classroom. I will be there to facilitate that instruction and to help your child. If they have questions, then I can help to answer questions or to give them some guidance, but they are not getting the same instruction as students are at Ray. It is a little different format, so I wanted to clarify that.
Thank you. There's a question, is pre-K still going to school. Pre-K, Miss Allison Palmer would be your best resource for that. I know there's been discussion about delaying that start. You know, they are Head Start kind of determines a lot of that. So you would just need to reach out to Miss Allison Palmer for that question. For IMS, will there be strings, band, and chorus for specials? Again, yes, those teachers are working through a way to present strings, band, and chorus for those students. Can kids use iPads? That's one of the questions. Yes. I don't know that it is as fully compatible. I know that some students used iPads last year, and some of the functionality was just a little bit different. But yes, iPads are compatible to do Teams and most of the programs that we use here in the districts. Are the students able to scan in their papers? Yes, that's the beauty of Microsoft Teams, is that they can use the computer screen or the camera on the computer and scan it and then send it back to them. And there's a way within Teams that the teacher can actually send a paper copy in a PDF. Students just write on the PDF and just send it back to them, and they can get feedback that way as well. Will we receive a computer if we were able to go to school but have to be quarantined again? I say this reluctantly. We have a plan that covers right now all of 3-8 with a computer. Excuse me. And then we have to for the K1 or the K2 situation, that I know your teachers reached out to you and asked, hey, if we had to go this, do you have a machine? It's the hopes that we have, and we're in the process of procuring some additional machines right now. But those aren't in the building in the district at the time. But we are trying to find, making sure if you have your own machine and we go virtual, we're fine. We're hoping that we have enough to cover the district. So we will, if we have to go virtual, we will find a way to provide what we can. Other than the assignments folder in Teams, will the children get a planner like they do? Yes, if I'm not sure where this question, what grade level this question comes from, but yes, we can send home a planner with your student in the materials pickup. The question is, what are the chances that we were forced to go virtual within the? I cannot answer that question. I'm sorry. Can I work with students after I get off work? Yes. Yes. Will the help desk be available to students have and use their own laptops? No. That is, yes. If you have like a Teams platform question or a problem, sure, you can use the help desk at PSSD.org. Can I work with them after 4? Yes, but we need to make sure that we can account for their attendance. The question is, I work during the day. Can I work with them after 4? Yes. Once we kind of get started in this, but we have to have attendance every day in some form or fashion. The virtual academy and in-school both will start on 8/17. Yes, that is true. A camera is needed for check-in. Well, if you have, we just need to know your student is there and they are present. That's just a quick way. If you don't have a camera, there is a way within Microsoft Teams that we can check your attendance as well. What if a child is in football? Our policy allows that if you choose the virtual route, they can still participate in football. The ALPS program with Miss Goodman. Again, Miss Goodman was working on a schedule. You just please reach out, email her for those ALPS questions. as we, as I've asked many times, there are some things, as you can see right now. We're trying to get the airplane as we're building it off the ground, and that's just starting school, getting on teams, making sure they can check in, and then once we, after a week or two, get the airplane off the ground, then we can start coming around with the drink and the snack cart, where we can start offering the apps, and we can start offering the strings and things like that. So just be patient with us, and we will work those things in. The question, will they be able to return physically to school later in the year? Yes. You would just check in the office. Your parents would just need to let if you want to, if you're planning on coming on a Monday, just let the secretaries know, hey, I'm planning to bring my student back on Monday, and come by the office, and we will get them in the right place. Yes, for Inman, the question is, for Inman, can students return assignments to teachers by scanning and emailing? Excuse me. Yes, that is possible. If there are materials that will be needed for an assignment, will we be notified in advance? Yes, we will. We will be graceful as you are graceful with us. We are going to be as graceful with you and your children to do that. Testing. This is a great question. How will national testing happen? In that contract and in that agreement, there will be some times where we may have to bring students in and just in very low numbers to be able to do things like this. Um, Again, um, hopefully when that happens, and we don't do any testing until March and April, so by then hopefully our numbers are dramatically lower, where things are much safer. There's a question about children with IEPs for speech. I know that, and I see that this has been answered too, but speech will be provided remotely as well. I know that Miss Ginger Oliver and our speech teachers have that whole speech team have talked about ways to offer all of these things virtually. There's a question about laptop insurance. If we you do not have to purchase any laptop insurance. If a laptop becomes damaged because of an accident, that's things happen. We understand that, and we can cover that. If it's malicious and things like that, then then we will have a meeting with our director of schools and administrative staff to talk about damages and things like that. Will meals be provided for virtual students? Yes. Will kids be, and I think this has been answered well, will kids be held at a distance? Yes, I know teachers have practiced in the hallways what that would look like. But yes, and students, that first couple of days with students, that's what they're going to do. Practice the 6 foot distance and practice staying away from each other. Again, I see a question about Microsoft Word. Through Office.com, it has Word already built in, so there would be no need to purchase anything like that. Will this affect beta or honors? No, I don't. The question is, will this affect beta or honors? No, as long as your student is keeping up with their schoolwork and grades and things like that, um, beta and honors shouldn't be affected. If I sign up for a virtual tomorrow, but still undecided, can I opt back into school? Will my child still have the yes. Oh, okay. Let me back up. I'm sorry for that. The question is, if I sign up for a virtual tomorrow, but still undecided, can I opt back into school? Will my child still have the in-school teacher they were given? For grades 3 through 8, that's true. Amanda or Miss Miranda, can y'all come off mute and speak to the K2?
What was the question, Joey?
The question is, if I sign up for virtual tomorrow, but still undecided, can I opt back into school? And will they still have the in-school teacher they were given?
At our faculty meeting yesterday, my understanding is that if you opt back into class, in-person class, that you may or may not have that same teacher that reached out to you for parent registration through the phone, due to everyone's numbers fluctuating on a constant basis.
Okay. Thank you. Oh yeah, I think this may be the follow-up. One child is at Paris Elementary and one at Inman, but so they would return to their peer group. Yes. Will students need a printer? It shouldn't be necessary, as there may be times where materials could be picked up. You know, one of the issues, I know that principals at each building have a designated pickup and drop-off slot where you don't have to come into the building. It's in the foyer of each building where you can pick up and drop off any materials that potentially may be needed. If a student misses the designated check-in time, can they do it before the day is over? I'm assuming check-in. You know, you would just need to during another, if they miss it in the I don't really know if this is referring to during the afternoon or during the morning. You know, because there will be a check-in throughout the day. You know, you can just say, "Hey, this morning I missed because of this situation." First graders will be able to get computer if you have already previously let me know that you are planning on going virtual. We are going to do our dead level best to make sure that you will get a computer. So yes. When there's a question about will there be a live chat throughout the day and how long will someone be available? Once you receive the child's schedule, you will see those multiple check-ins throughout the day. And yes, live chat is always available, and your teacher will explain that when they go through the first day or two of school, when they're using the Microsoft Teams platform.
And also, Mr. Brush, I thought I would include each teacher will have some type of office hours. We haven't, designated those just yet, but that will be a possibility also if it's not something we can do within chat. We just kind of need to fill out the schedules and see how things are going to roll through the next few weeks before we designate 100% like office hours.
Okay, thank you. Will there be soccer at Inman in the same manner as football? Yes. When is the deadline to sign up and phone number? The phone number is 642-9322, extension number 3. If you can't be there on time to pick up students' materials, you reach out again to me at 642-9322, extension number 3, and we will make arrangements for you to do that when you are available. The question is, I was previously told by a teacher that virtual students could not come back during a grading period. We, as again, we are trying to be as flexible as we possibly can, and so yes, if after 2 weeks this is not working, or say again, go back to the illness where they get strep throat, where they get just a common cold or something, and they have to be out for extended number of days, yes, you do not have to keep them out the entire grading period. There's a question about AR. AR will be accessible through ClassLink. Yes.
Mr. Brush, did you want to speak on the attendance policy for virtual school and how that mimics in-person school?
Yes, just the attendance. It will be. Excuse me. One of my pleasures that of my job that I get to do in the district is to work with the attendance, and so the policy is the same. You know that if you have some excused absences, but after a number of times that if you're not checking in, we will come. We'll check in with you as a parent. We'll have the principals get involved, and we will make sure that everything is okay and that y'all are not having any trouble, because I know sometimes an absentee depends on there's a technology problem or something like that. So, but yes, the virtual attendance will mimic school attendance. Okay, here's a question. Do you mind clarifying that the work will not be like it was in March with packet pickup drop off, but that the work will be submitted primarily online unless that has changed? If we get into a situation where we have to totally go virtual, it will not be nothing like it was in March. Teachers will report to the virtual classroom, and they will still have class every single day.
Mr. Brush,
Yes.
could you also speak on how the first week I've seen a couple questions about, are they going to have time to practice with the software? I know at Inman that, that first week that will definitely be what we will be doing together a lot when I do my check-ins with them.
So yes, there will be plenty of opportunities to practice with the platform. Power Teacher will still be a resource. Yes, that doesn't change. Okay, and so there's several questions that looks like those have been handled. All right, any other questions that I missed, my moderators? One thing I think I failed to tell the group is that if you watch a Loom video from a mobile phone, you may actually have to download the Loom app. So just fair warning about that. Again, if the virtual option is something that you were considering and you haven't signed up yet, please let me know. Again, 642-9322, extension number 3. Thank you again for jumping on with us, and I know we went a little long, but we wanted to make ourselves available to answer any questions that you may have. And to be honest, folks, there's some questions that you're going to have that we might not have answered yet, and we know that, but know that we are listening to you all. And again, we just ask for patience and grace and all what you can lend to us as a staff, because this is a trying time for everybody. We know how to go back to school in a normal manner, but we really don't know how to go to school in a virtual manner because we've never done it. But we're trying our very, very best, and we're going to do the very best on our end to provide your children with the best education that they can possibly receive. Thank you so much, and we are going to end our meeting.